Greetings. We're going to talk about the Trane XR724 Wi-Fi Thermostat and how I've had 3 strikes and now you're out. I bought these thermostats along with my 2 new Trane heat pump air conditioning units about 3 months ago, and I've had it with the issues on the thermostats and the Nexia app that controls these thermostats remotely. The thermostats seem to have built-in design flaws. So getting new units, which I've already done, I've already had 1 replaced of the 2, and it still has the same problems. So let's take a quick look at what those problems are, and I'll show you demonstrations along the way. Number 1, strike 1, is the temperature randomly that's displayed on the thermostat will go wild. It'll move up 5 or 6 degrees for no apparent reason. I finally, after a few months, figured out what makes that happen, and I'll show you how I can make that happen on demand. But the problem with that is that if the air conditioning is running and the thermostat is set to 75 and the temperature sensor goes wild up to 79 or 80, well, what's that going to make the air conditioner going to do? It's going to make the air conditioner keep on running and keep on running and keep on running until it gets down to maybe 70 or 69 to offset that delta. So strike 2 is that the Wi-Fi does not automatically reconnect when there's some sort of a system reboot of the thermostat or reset or reload of the thermostat. I understand they need to do that occasionally, but they should not leave me high and dry and unable to remotely connect to the thermostats through my Nexia app. And that's happened too many times, and I'm done with that. And speaking of the Nexia app, which is used to control these remotely, it's far too buggy. Just within the last couple of weeks, there have been major system issues where either the Nexia remote controls were unavailable or not completely functional, and there are still bugs in the app today that I'm going to show you. So stay tuned, and I will walk you through demonstrations and all I can tell you about those 3 different strikes and what I'm going to do about it. Alright, first up I'm going to show you what happens to the temperature display when you turn on a regular ceiling fan in the same room with the Trane thermostat. This is totally repeatable, and it was the source of my temperature gone wild issue. And the reason I replaced the 1 thermostat and it still has the same problem is because it's an inherent design flaw that I cannot live with, and nobody else should live with it either. The clip is a little bit long at about 5 minutes. Bear with it, but the results will be worth it because you'll see how the displayed temperature goes up and the real room temperature goes down. Alright, next we're going to show how a ceiling fan makes the temperature setting go wild. I have my reference thermometer, cooking thermometer, and the Trane thermostat. The air conditioning is running, set on 73. Close enough on the reference versus the Trane, 1 degree away. And I'm going to turn the ceiling fan on. So let's go over here. Right now, ceiling fan is off. I'm going to turn it on, and then we're going to come back. It was on 76, the temperature that is. We're going to see what happens over the next minute or 2. Air conditioning is still running. Reference thermometer just went down 1 degree to 74. Reference thermometer is now down to 73. And the Trane is up to 77. Yes, as the air conditioner continues to run, the reference temperature goes down to 72, and the Trane says 79. Next, we'll see how the Wi-Fi does not automatically reconnect all the time whenever it needs to. It had been offline for 6 days, and the indication on the Nexia app on my phone says that the upstairs thermostat is offline, and it stayed offline. I could not use it, could not come back and get it online until 6 days later. So the issue there is, this is the reason I bought the Wi-Fi thermostat, is so that I could control the comfort settings in the house remotely. And this happens repeatedly. If the thermostat decides it needs to reboot, reset, restart, whatever it is, it should still automatically connect to Wi-Fi. So here goes. All right, this is the thermostat. It's been offline for 6 days for some unknown reason, offline to my house, my automation, offline to the rest of the world, offline to my telephone app. If it was online, you would see the Wi-Fi symbol lit up there. But we're going to just have my beautiful wife reset the circuit breaker and show that there's nothing I need to do in order to get this online. It just should have come back online automatically itself. So I'm going to ask her to flip the breaker. All right, Tammy, hit it, please. So I asked her to keep it off about 5 or 10 seconds and then turn it back on, and we'll record the startup sequence of the thermostat to see if it truly does connect on its own, since there was nothing I, as the owner, needed to do, since it was already previously connected and should have automatically connected whenever it disconnects. And it's now online. Why do I need to do that? Anyway, that's one of the reasons I hate this Trane thermostat. So after reconnecting to Wi-Fi, I opened up my Nexia app and brought up the events. And sure enough, they're circled in red as the upstairs unit coming online at 4:33 p.m. after being offline for 6 days. You know, and speaking of the Nexia app, the final portion of this is going to be taking a look at some of the issues with the Nexia app that currently and recently have impacted me. All right, the final strike 3 is the Nexia app. Right now, they've come back online, they've fixed all the problems, so I'm not going to be able to show you what the issues were. So you're just going to have to take my word for it. The Nexia app had major outages and issues over the last 2 to 3 weeks. We're talking about starting around July 1st. So what bothered me was it could not always reach your devices, but that was separate from my issue. And when I was actually working with my issue, I tried to look at the events. And during that time, the items in red were not working. The filter was not working, which meant I could not narrow it down to an upstairs or downstairs thermostat. And then the pages were not working either. It would not scroll forward or backward, so that I could not look at previous events that may have happened earlier today or yesterday or a few days ago, like when I was trying to look up the information from when the thermostat went offline 6 days prior. At that time I was not able to scroll backward and look at that. So they fixed those issues for today, but the damage has been done. Okay, we've seen why I can no longer live with these Trane thermostats that I've got. The temperature occasionally goes wild. When you turn a ceiling fan on, the Wi-Fi will not automatically reconnect during a hiccup, and the Nexia app is just too unstable for me. So what am I going to do? I'm going to jump ship, and I'm going to move to another brand, the Sensi thermostat, which I also have had for several years, and they have been wonderful. In fact, they're so wonderful with their customer support that they recalled 2 of my units, replaced them, let me keep the old ones, and in fact the recall did not impact my old ones at all. So I know they work well, and the app gives me exactly what I need. So thank you for watching this. I hope you will not use the Trane XR724 Wi-Fi thermostat, and I hope you'll find something better instead.